Well, what we know is that there were three cables that were cut almost simultaneously on Saturday, February 24th. Things get a lot murky after that. After all, the cables lay on the sea floor, and it takes time to determine what happened. Um, I will say that accidents are very common in the submarine cable industry. There are 500 cables in the world. Overall, there are 200 cable cuts every year. I'm sorry, 100 cable cuts. That means on average, there are two cuts somewhere in the world every week. So this may well have been an accident. It's to be determined.
Tim, the solution or the way to de-risk this is to lead into satellites to back up the connectivity. So this calls for a hybrid subsea cable and satellite network solution, does it not?
Well, satellites certainly play a role. They are very important for low traffic mission critical backup. But the problem with satellites is they can accommodate far less capacity or traffic, communications traffic, than a submarine cable can. For example, everyone knows about SpaceX Starlink. Amazon's launching something very similar called Kuiper, and there are a few other satellite constellations going up. If you add all of the satellites in all those constellations together, they could accommodate a capacity of only one-tenth of a single cable. So there's really no substitute for undersea cables, unfortunately. The real solution there is diversity, building lots more undersea cables and building them in geographically diverse locations.
And also a redundancy as well, Tim. With the cables in the Red Sea or under the Red Sea that were cut, apparently there is the ability to reroute some of the data, maybe even all of it, from the damaged cables. And it reminds me of what's been happening with shipping as well in that area, too. The data gets rerouted south around the Cape of Good Hope. With data, how much does that increase time, latency, and cost? I'm curious.
It does. It increases latency. You think the speed of light is roughly how fast these signals are propagating through undersea cables. You think of the speed of light as almost infinitesimally fast, but it's not. It could add maybe 100 milliseconds going around the Horn and then the Cape of Good Hope of Africa, or certainly even more latency going eastward through Singapore, Tokyo, and the United States. And there's also, southward through Africa, there's also less cable capacity. So it's not an ideal situation right now for the cable operators that have cables in the Red Sea.